Thank you, everyone. Good morning. And first of all, I would like to thanks to PyCon Bangkok for this opportunity to give me the time to speaking here. The pleasure is mine. And today I will speak about security issues on your Python code. But first, let me introduce myself first. I'm Harley Davidson. It sounds weird, but it's my real name. uh, Maybe my father big fans of it. So if you guys, maybe it can be influence for you if you have a children in the future. You can give their name with TensorFlow or something. And I'm working as application security consultant in Jakarta, Indonesia. I'm certified ethical hacker, and you can reach out to me in Twitter at Harley Davidson Karel. So does anyone have security background here? No? Okay. Oh, you have security background. You do secure coding or infra security or what? Information security. Oh, that sounds cool, man. Okay. Anyway, today's talk will talk about finding security issue on development stage using open source static application security testing, or it well known as SAS, so that the developer can identify security issue on earlier stage without waiting for application through penetration testing. So before we going far, anyone sounds familiar about penetration testing term? No? Some of them is familiar. So penetration testing is activity on the software development life cycle in the final stage when we already create the application and the application is already established. We do some activity kind of like hacking. So we hack literally to the application to figure out where the application has security issue or not. And this is the common development process. We start with the requirement stage and continue with design and development, after that testing and user acceptance test. We were talking about the penetration testing earlier, right? Penetration testing is taking part in the final stage of the development stage, which means we could not realize if the apps has security issue until the final stage. So ideally, we put security aspect on the every stage of the development stage. So in the requirement stage, we care about security requirement engineering. In the design stage, we do threat modeling. And in the development stage, we can doing static analysis. And in the testing, we can do like dynamic analysis. And the final stage, we can work with penetration testing as a security assessment. Since the penetration testing conducted on the final stage, it will take more time to realize that your app has security issue. So the thing is, with the final stage, you conduct the penetration testing, and you realize, we have 10 of issue, so we have to fix it out. So we should back again into requirement stage and fix all of those. It's better that if we have security assessment or security aspect in the every stage of the development, so the security issue can be identified earlier, so it will not take more time or take a lot of cost to fix it. And in the management point of view, to fixing the security issue is much higher the cost is much higher in the final stage rather than on the earlier stage. So there is a survey, the survey from NIST. It said that if we realize the security issue on the production, which found by penetration testing, the cost to fix is 30 times much higher rather than if we found the issue and fix on the earlier stage, mean requirement stage, coding stage, integrating testing. Is low battery or something? Keep going on. Here's the data from the NIST. And what is security issue? We can consider the SQL injection as one of them. Does anyone sound familiar with SQL injection? You guys again, because you're working for InfoSec, right? Is anyone developer who familiar with this term? Okay, so SQL injection So SQL injection involves entering SQL statement into an entry field in an application. So I put the snip code here. So the thing is, the application server consider the user input as the SQL syntax. So there is no filter between user input and the database server. So whatever we input to the user input, database server will process it as a syntax. And how to deal with this? You can use parameterized query. So let's say the user input SQL syntax, the application will know about it. So it will not be processed to the application server, the database server. And what else? So we just only talk about the SQL injection. So if you guys willing to know more about the security application security risk, maybe OAPS can be a reference. So OAPS make a list every year about the top 10 application security risks, and it should be updated every year. But this one is for 2017. So it can be a reference when you're typing your code. It said about injection, broken authentication, sensitive data exposure, and many more. You can just visit by yourself on the owasp.org. And since we know about the application security risks like a SQL injection and many more, how do we know whether the code which we develop has security on it or not? I don't know what's happening here, but so today I will talk specifically about open source static application security testing. Oh, I don't know what's going on here, but okay, so static application security testing is designed to analyze source code and/or compiled version of code to help find security flaws. So it helps us to find the security issue on our code. So let's say we make a code, we type the code, we produce the code, and we would like to know whether the code which we type or we create contains security issue or not. We can use the static application security testing. It has open source static application security testing, which created especially for Python programming language. It's called with Bandit. Does anyone ever heard about Bandit before? No? So I think it's good to know. In Bahasa Indonesia, I mean Indonesian language, bandit means bad guy who bring gun, knife, and it's disappear again. I don't. It's a bandit. So let me talk more about bandit. I would like to demonstrate the SQL injection, because we talked SQL injection earlier. So I cloned the simple apps from GitHub. It's from Jason something, and I will share the repo after. But thank you for Jason to create these apps wherever you are. And this kind of simple apps, let's consider it's a online store. So when we type water, let's see we are looking for water, and we click on search button. It come out with the water here, the quantity, price. And let's say we change it with juice. It's come out with juice here, but we will put the SQL injection payload. It looks like this. Can anyone guess what will happen? And this is what happens if the apps has SQL injection vulnerability on it. So it's a dump the database. It's a dump database data into the application. So it should not be done. So I think you should check your application and try put the SQL injection payload whether it's working or not. Okay, we'll back to the slide. Now let's back talk about Bandit. Bandit has ability to find several security issues like SQL injection, hardcode credential, weak cryptography, and many more. We can find the details on the official Bandit page. And Bandit has several output format. It can be CSV, HTML, JSON text, XML, YAML. You can pick your favorite one. And it has Jenkins integration as well. So we can integrate Bandit with Jenkins with the several scenario, like when the developer send the pull request, we can set Bandit to do some scan and give the result immediately. So I think it's time for Bandit demo. So this is the Bandit help page, and it shows us what is the Bandit capability. So let's say your application contain hardcode password string. Bandit will able to identify. So it has a lot of security rule. And I have JSON Hines 13 hackable application here, which I showed you earlier. And it has a main.py file, and we'll scan it through Bandit. The comment, we can use this comment. As simple as that. So Bandit found the security issue. It's categorized to hardcode SQL expression, and the information is possible SQL injection factor through string-based query construction, and with the severity medium, and it comes out with the file name and the line number, and it shows us the snip code as well. So we can identify the security issue on our code based on this information. So another issue figure out is same hardcode SQL expression on the main.py file, line number 57, and it shows us the snip code as well, and it's come with the summary. And we can convert this kind of result or report into certain format like HTML, CSV, JSON, and this one is for the HTML format. So the main idea from Bandit is the developer will able to identify the security issue on the earlier stage. In this case, on the development stage. So the security issue can be identified earlier rather than waiting for the penetration testing stage, which means on the final stage of the software development lifecycle stage. And I think that's all that I have for today. If you have any question, you can address to Twitter, or we can talk directly on this session, or we can catching up outside later. I think that's all that I have for today. Maybe you have some question about this. No one? Oh yeah, sir, please.
Hello. So, well, I know this is a Thailand conference, but besides Bandit, do you know about any other static tools for maybe other languages?
Sure. So maybe I think since in the conference we could not mention the commercial tools, right? So maybe I can start with the open source one first. So if you using Java, you can looking forward with the, maybe I can show you the slide is better, the source is better. For Java you can use, for Java you can use FunSecBoxer. It's especially created for Java programming language. And for another language, kind of something like Ruby, maybe you can use Brakeman. And for PHP, you can use RIPS, RIPS. And what else? Golang. For Golang, you can use GoSec, sir. GoSec. It's SEC, right? GoSec. GOSEC. Golang, Python, Java, PHP, I mentioned already. Ruby, I mentioned already. I think that should be enough, sir. Or you have any other language preferences? That's enough, okay. And another thing, For the tools which I mentioned earlier, you can find out on the OAPS page. Sure. So just consider the internet working. You can visit this page, oaps.org, and here it is, source code analysis tools. It has a lot of lists, open source, commercial, static application security testing tools, which we can use on a daily activity base. I hope that helped you, sir. Thank you. Or we have another question, or?
But it also scan for the package dependency that use as a vulnerability.
That's a good question. So here's the thing. We talk the static application, we talk the SAS as the general term, right? But regardless what tools that we use. So let me talk about the general term first. In the SAS, it has two kind of ability. The first is source code, and the second one is binary scan. So it's two different things. So in this case, Bandit's working as the source code review. Since we could not compile, I mean, Python is not compilable, right? So if we talk about another programming language like in Java, let's say, we can just put the java.war, and we can use the binary analysis, and in the binary analysis, we can find the third-party library which has security issue. It's well known as SCA, Security Composition Analysis. So on the binary analysis, it's provide that kind of feature, which means you can find out the third-party library which contains security issue. But Bandit, as far as I know, is working as the source code review only. So it just measure the source code which you type, regardless what is the third-party library, as far as I know. But maybe if you're willing to know more about the first-party code and the third-party, it's better if you use the binary analysis. Is that help? Okay.
So can I use Bandit with another web framework like Django or Flask?
In the official page, it support with Django, sir. It supports Django, but the main idea of Bandit is it scan.py file. So as long as the project target or the application target contain .py file, Bandit might be work, and it's working on Python 3 as well. Does that help? Okay, thank you.